we are wrapping up 2021, and that means wrapping up our charity efforts as well. So on this episode, we talk to our nonprofit coordinator and our director of culture and engagement. That's a mouthful. It's a big title. It's like this big. And we also might talk about what we are going to do for 2022. Atlas All Access starts now. All right, I'm going to do it backwards this time, and I'll tell you why. Because this is, at its core, just my opinion, but I think it's very important to how companies operate in 2021, 2022. So, just my opinion. Normally, this happens at the end, but these kinds of things are super important, and it's something that I felt strongly about early on, and we tried to do a little bit, but as a small company, it was very difficult to do. Now that we've grown, I believe we have an obligation back to our community, to the community that we're in, to do as much as possible for charities locally. In addition, the job that our nurses perform is very personal every single day. And anytime that we can cross over and do some of that ourselves, I've said it so many times, like I could never do what a nurse or an allied health professional does. I don't have it in me, but I can do this side of it. And so being able to give back to charities and do this kind of work is hyper important to me. And that's why we put such an emphasis on it. So joining me today, Jamie Ryan, nonprofit coordinator at Atlas, and Diane Ernatt, the director of culture and engagement. Again, your title is very long, but I like it. So we just wrapped up our Toys for Tots toy drive. I think both of you kind of talk about that. I've talked about it a lot. Like that's probably the one I enjoy the most each year. Could both of you talk about that a little bit?
Probably the one that we have the most involvement in. We have so many employees and so many nurses that contribute. We typically divide our employees up into teams and then have a huge competition. And we're a very, very competitive place.
Salespeople are not competitive. What are you talking about?
So it's so fun around here in December. There's just toys everywhere. Amazon packages arriving constantly. It's so fun that our nurses get involved. And so Diane, do you know, like our first couple of years, do you know how many toys we would have
the first couple of years, it was probably less than 100 the first year.
Probably.
It was nuts. And that's what's been kind of fun about partnering with the Marines is we've been able to kind of grow but still stay the same, working with the same organization, just giving more and more gifts. So starting with under 100, and then it escalated quickly.
Right? Yeah. Yes. Hyper competitive people here, right? Gosh, very, very competitive. In particular, there's a few that really get their teams going. But like I've said, 100% of that toy goes to that kid at the end of the toy drive, right? So not that I don't believe that people that run charities are important. I believe they're very important. But handing that, seeing the look on that kid's face when they get that toy is just it's priceless. It's amazing.
It's just fantastic. And I think we ended up with over 2,200 toys this year, which is pretty phenomenal. I think it's kind of cute, too, that there's certain stores that actually know our company. Right. And, like, employees will come in and they'll say, oh, it's you guys again. You're always here this time of year, and you buy tons of stuff. And so it's really awesome that we were able to make an impact in so many kids' lives with this.
One of them, I heard, I can neither confirm nor deny that they would say this, right? But one, we get the employee discount there. I know that for sure. Yeah. And two, we make their sales goals because of all the toys that we buy.
So I love that.
That one individual store's sales goal because of all those toys.
That's awesome.
And that's a lot of fun too.
Sure, that's great.
They make that connection back, that we're making an impact back into the community, not only from that charity effort, but then back at retail stores too, which hasn't been easy to work retail over the past couple of years. So. Okay, other charity efforts. I want to talk about the other things that we've done because we don't normally talk about those. But I mean, once a year, I think it's important to kind of revisit some of those things that we've done over the past year, some of the places that we've donated some money or had an impact with.
Sure. One of the things I like about what we do is that we try to have our charitable efforts be employee driven. So whether that's the things we're going out in the community and doing, or where we're giving financially. So for example, this year, shortly, sort of several months into COVID, one of the nurses came and said, "Hey, I'm really concerned about what's going on in the Asian American community and the backlash that they're facing, and I am supporting these 3 charities. And would you guys also support the charities?" And we're like, "Absolutely!" Like that's a fantastic way for us to contribute. And so there's a lot of other examples like that too. Like March of Dimes is a charity that we support every year because one of our employees came and said, "Hey, my sister's really involved in this. This is something that's really important to our family." So that's an organization that we support every year.
Yeah, that's cool. And we try to be kind of agile like that and kind of listen to what the internal employees are saying as well. And one thing that we started to do, we've had such great success this year, and we want to give back because giving back is one of our cultural bullet points, I guess, if you will.
Yeah.
So
part of the Atlas way.
It is part of the Atlas way. So we've started to spin a wheel of names, a charity wheel, and we've given another competition. So our staff, if we can hit a certain number, then we will give back to the community. And if your name gets chosen, you get to choose the charity that goes to. So that list, I couldn't even start on because it's getting kind of bigger and bigger.
It's great. I mean, it's everything from dog rescues to it's to very large, charitable organizations.
It's always fun seeing where they choose. Like, and they always know too. Like when their name gets drawn, they have a charity in mind,
and is so cool.
It's just fantastic.
Yeah, and like Jamie's efforts this year have been awesome as far as like a Heartland Hope, just like local shelter. Support organizations, stuff like that. Some of the things we do have to do with the school year. So there's like a backpack drive.
Big Brothers and Big Sisters, and
there's no shortage of nonprofits out there. If anybody's struggling, just kind of start researching. Yeah, there's also places that will go to help us pick the right charity too. Charity Navigator's a good website that we use. So.
The one that I think is important because I personally donated to this before, and when I was a client manager many years ago, was we're associated with an organization that makes gowns for children for babies that don't make it.
Sure,
absolutely.
And, and that's one of the last things you're thinking about if you have a stillborn child or that type of thing is, oh my gosh, what am I going to bury this child in?
Yeah.
Sure.
So they take wedding dresses or bridesmaid dresses and they make these beautiful tiny gowns out of them, and we send boxes of those to our children's hospitals. We just send boxes to them. Here you go. Like this is you don't want to think about this until you have to think about it.
Right.
Sure.
But at least it's here, and that's one of the things I enjoy doing is not the right word whatsoever. It's not, but being able to help with something like that is important.
And I think along those lines too, that's also very important to us is our blood drives. So we try to stick with, we do every couple months. And
pun intended.
And I will say, Rich, you are wonderful at getting people signed up because it's not always something it's not fun to do. People don't want to do it, but we have a list, and that's also sort of, we're not going to let any spot on that go unused.
Absolutely. And we normally don't, right?
Nope.
I will make it. I don't like doing it either, right? But I will go do it. Look, if I'm on the list, you need to be on the list. Let's go.
He's very good at getting people signed up.
You're going. So. And then local sponsorships. I know we do a couple different things here locally. The Omaha Storm Chasers and sponsoring the kids club out there, the Little Chasers Club. It's important to me because I love baseball. Steve loves baseball, and so that was a no-brainer for us out there. I mean, it is such a fun, family-friendly place. On Sunday, kids get to run the bases after the game, and they're all wearing the shirts that they have the Little Chasers logo on it. It's a lot of fun. It just makes you smile when you see all those kids on the field running the bases. You can't help but smile. So again, just my opinion, but at the same time, I'm so happy that we got to this point, that this is finally, that as you grow as a business, it's difficult because you want to do these things, you just can't necessarily. So as you grow, it becomes easier and easier to do, and then you get good people involved that can coordinate these things, that can do all of these different things, and it just becomes part of what you're doing and what we do. So again, we don't talk about it a ton. I like to, at the end of the year, kind of revisit that, especially coming off the high that is Toys for Tots. And,
That's right.
When the Marine came in at the end, when the Marine came in on that day after we had collected all these toys, and he looked up and down at the pile, and then he looked at the two pickup trucks that they had brought. They realized they needed many more trucks. So,
that was awesome.
Which only made me happy. So, Jamie and Diane, thank you so much. I appreciate you being here with us. I look forward to a lot in 2022. I think we got a blood drive coming up here pretty soon.
We do.
Yep.
Couple weeks.
Right, just in a couple weeks. So we've got some stuff to do. We're going to have a lot of fun with it. So thank you so much for both your efforts. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right. We will see you next year. Thank you for a great 2021. Thank you for listening or watching, whichever one you choose, either on YouTube, Spotify, any of those, Apple Podcasts, any place where you can either watch us or listen to us. Thank you so much. It really means a lot to us. If there's anything that you want to see in the new year, want us to talk about, let us know. Put a comment down here. Send it to me through Facebook. You can send it to me through email. Either one, any of those work, and I'll get it on the schedule. Nothing is off limits. I've said that before. I'll say it again. Nothing's off limits. We'll talk about anything right here, and I'll get somebody in here that is smarter than me to actually talk about that topic as well. So thank you so much, and we will see you in 2022.